Well, I wanted to talk a little bit about cardiac anatomy and physiology in the Cardiac Nursing 4th edition book. A little bit different than what I remember. At one time, we used ECMO and Levitronics, the DeBakey, and some other things on patients. Sometimes they had got things like sternal myelitis. I remember actually one time running down to the OR with Dr. Park on top of the bed with my hands in somebody's chest, trying to help him resuscitate this patient who was dying. We got kind of stuck in the elevator for a little bit, but there was about 4 of us. The patient made it. Going through some of these new notes in here, talking about unloading the left ventricle, negative inotropes with positive inotropic agents. And then, of course, the myocardial oxygen demand and consumption. Some of the equations, like the old Fick equation, I'm sure that's not included in here. Mean arterial pressure and right arterial pressures are still there. I was wondering about S1, S2, S3, and S4. Not sure that any of the old information would be of any value to anybody but myself. At one point we used pacemakers too that were biphasic. That was interesting too. Programming the chambers of the heart. Here I'm looking at the right atrium, the right ventricle. Some pulmonary arteries, the aorta, and the chemical reactions that take place. Far be it for me to say what would happen if you, I don't know, added more hydrogen and oxygen. I'm sure that would become something of a saturation problem. It wasn't so much that we cared about hemoglobin in those days. We stopped really caring so much unless it was really low. That is what I'm more interested in right there. The neurotransmitters and what they do. And the parasympathetic nervous system is pretty important. I don't know what would happen if, they did that change sign, but I'm sure something about a hormonal imbalance, and some of the others might be sensed or felt. I was actually hoping to talk a little bit about afterload too, with force velocity, but that's another topic. The preload is what gets them all the time. Contractility. Well, we could talk about what contractility does to the peripheral vascular system, but some of us already know. Oh, the tissue perfusion. Yeah, we actually had perfusionists that worried about tissue. Well, no, I'm just thumbing through this stuff, looking at overall control, baroreflexes and stuff. That maneuver didn't ever work. So, not sure if there's anything of value in here to me. Oh yeah, the State Board of Nursing, took my nursing license later, so I'll be has something to do with impaired gas exchange. Or fluid and balance. Get it? The devil made me say that. I could talk about, like, the 5 H's and some of the T's, but that's another secret too. Not that I keep secrets from anyone. I never do. It's like I'm compelled to tell you. I was thinking about some of the other cardiac surgeons that I worked with. Villahai, Ivasevich, Mia, she was really a nice woman. Oh, and there were so many others that I could mention. Park. No, I'm not really going to say what the rest of their names were at this time. Here we're looking at acidosis and acid-base imbalances. Do you know what would happen probably if you took acids and bases and then put them on a litmus paper? I don't know. Something different. All right, I'll continue this tomorrow. So, I think the real important thing to remember is S1, S2, S3, S4, and maybe some of the murmurs and extra heart tones that you can hear.